All right, everybody. Well, it's new year, new me. 2025 is over. 2026 is here. And the country is not starting in the best place. I think that's really the most simple way to put it. As of this moment, over 20 million households in America right now, their premiums for insurance is skyrocketing. 2-3 times, even more in some cases. Trump just came out and said that he's cutting federal funding for childcare for every state because Nick Shirley's YouTube video, which was immediately debunked. I mean, this is a guy who's just walking around Minnesota, banging on doors of childcare and wondering why no one's opening up for him. But that's where our country is at right now, where our politicians, they don't follow the will of the American people anymore. They just follow the TikTok or YouTube algorithm. It's not a good place for the American people to be. And it causes a lot of, not just fear, but uncertainty as what the hell is going to happen for the rest of the year. If this is how we're starting out, right? Unaffordability crisis is already the worst that it's been in living memory, right? All the stats are showing that we are comparable, if not worse than we were in the 2008 Great Financial Crisis, or even during the pandemic. Nobody can afford houses. No one's losing their houses because nobody can afford to have a house. It looks like we're about to get dragged into another conflict with Iran because Israel's like, I guess we're going to go back in there. I mean, the peace talks are just, listen, nobody has any faith in what's going on anymore. And that's a problem. Because 2026 isn't a year of hope. Right? We're entering a year of cynicism, a year of nihilism, a year of hopelessness. I know that everyone's hungover right now and it's not really what we want to deal with, but I mean, maybe that's the answer. Maybe we just numb ourselves to the point. Maybe we just become a nation of alcoholics and drug addicts because that's the only way to kind of numb the anxiety. Because what future does this country have at this point? Did you know that 2/3 of the younger generation right now that's coming into the workforce, 2/3 are thinking about leaving the United States to find opportunities elsewhere because they're not getting jobs at a college, right? You can't find jobs that have any kind of decent pay. And if you do get a good job, there's a good chance that you're going to get laid off in just a couple months because of AI. This is one of the reasons that I just left my last job. The writing was on the wall. I mean, AI is taking over. You'd be having conversations of people that you thought were in the company, people you thought were real humans, but the AI has gotten so good that you don't even know that you're talking to a robot. A lot of the times, if you're sitting at home and you're actually getting a phone call from some kind of corporation, it's AI now. You're not actually talking to a live person, and they don't tell you that, right? They don't tell you that. You just have a conversation with Wally. So what happens when you have 2/3 of the youngest generation, the youngest part of the workforce that says, I want out of here? And it's really hard to track the amount of Americans that actually file for visas for other countries. We don't have the numbers on those. You have to go to the individual countries outside the United States and get the stats from them, which no one does because it paints a really dark picture. But in general, visas to leave the country actually went up 103% last year. I mean, what's that going to look like when the unaffordability crisis that we're in, the cost of living crisis, continues to get worse, right? Last year was the worst year the US dollar has had in a long time, right? We've lost all purchasing power. Pretty soon, you're not going to be able to leverage the US dollar in other countries like you can now. It's having a dwindling effect. So unless you have a creative idea or you're ahead of the curve and realize that you need to get a work visa in another country, because America is really on a steep downward trajectory when it comes to our economy. I mean, a lot of people are just going to be stuck here. And cutting the funding for childcare, I mean, listen, if you're a single parent in America, which is 30% of children in America right now are being raised by single parent households. Now, a single parent household pays about 35% of their income, their total income, going to childcare. And there's programs that you can use that make that a bit cheaper, that give you spots in childcare so that you can actually go out there and work and provide a living. And your kid's not just alone at home being raised by the cat. But that's gone now. All of a sudden, boom. It wasn't any kind of study. It wasn't any kind of research done into the numbers. It was simply a TikTok video the president saw, posted it on True Social and said, we're cutting all funding for federal child care. What a ludicrous thing to do. And like I said, it leads, this is how we're starting 2026. The economy's unhealthy. The politics are an absolute circus. Our country doesn't seem to be in control of itself anymore. You have Benjamin Netanyahu, who's coming to the White House and essentially just gets whatever he wants. We have CIA assets in Venezuela who are calling in airstrikes on docks. That's only escalating. So of course, 2/3 of the younger generation are thinking about punching out because what the hell is this? What even is this? What's going on in our country? And we have a ruling class, a political class, who doesn't care about the American people. And it's obvious and it's evident that they don't, because they just stand by, they sit by and let a historically unpopular president just run roughshod over the entire executive branch with no checks, no balances. And they're also afraid to question him or stand up to him because they think that they're going to lose their seat in Congress or the Senate or whatever. But at the same time, the American people are just getting stiffed. The American people are getting a bad deal. And the only response that we're given is that the economy is in a golden age, that America is doing super well, everybody. But I mean, if you're alive, if you breathe, if you have to operate in this system, you understand how broken it is and how impossible it's becoming. And for, Goldman Sachs to come out and say that 2026, the K-shaped economy is going to continue the way that it is. Essentially, the wealthiest, the richest, the political class, the president and his friends, all the donors, they're going to get their way. All the countries that we're sponsoring who are going to war with other countries, they're going to continue to get their money, but the American people are going to continue to get nothing. And if anything, they're just going to get more taken from them. Tariffs aren't going away. They're being lauded as a great victory. But again, 55% of those costs are being borne on the shoulders of the American people, and American people who are getting hit again and again and again with unnecessary fees, either from the government or from corporations. And it doesn't really feel like at this moment, America even has a future worth fighting for. And you got to come back to it. I mean, the big thing, the big focus from the kind of traditional conservative Christian nationalist side right now is like, we need to focus on families. But you're doing everything you can to make it impossible to have a family. I'm somebody who has a family. It's increasingly difficult. And not just that, divorce rates in this country are essentially 90%. So if you get married, the solid chance is you're just going to get a divorce at some point. So your kid is going to be raised by a single parent, and there's no federal funding there. If you know anything about childcare costs, they're exorbitantly expensive. And most people are making $35,000 to $50,000 a year. You cannot start a family on that. And that's why 60% of younger women, right? These are your childbearing years, right? Those women, young women, hot girls, they're thinking about leaving the country. They take up the majority of those 2/3 because America has just become a toxic cesspool without any kind of real philosophy or any kind of humanity. And women just see it as a bad deal, right? Not a place that you want to have a kid, not a place that you want to raise a kid. So how can you have a functioning society? How can you have a future that's focused on the growth of families when more than half of the women who you expect to settle down and, take their shoes off and just go make pies in the kitchen all day, because I guess that's what, the current administration thinks women are for. What happens when they want to leave? Because they're not going to be starting families here, which means that your workforce isn't going to be here. And although you hate immigrants, the fact is you're going to have to rely on immigrants. That's why you can point these things out about immigration. You can kick out a few, but still there's 50 million immigrants in this country. And we know this administration doesn't actually care if they're legal or not. They just want them gone because they want an ethno-state. But we're past that. All ethno-states essentially fail. It's a relic of the past, right? We're in the dawn of a new civilization. has risen, and to fight against a diverse country, right? It's fighting against the sun. You're not going to win. You're just going to get left behind by the rest of humanity. So that's why it feels like going into 2026, hello, welcome, we're here now. It feels like the year ahead of us, the next 364 days, just feel like we're going to continue to spiral downwards. And people are tired of it. I mean, people are tired of saying, we just got to be more patient. We have to suffer a little bit so that our country can come out on the other side stronger than ever. But the only people that are suffering are the people who are working 60, 70, 80 hours a week. Listen, there's something that just came out in New York City. And this is most jobs now. There's some kind of training that you have to go through when you get into whatever position you're getting into. Mine was like that. I had 3 months of training and certification courses, getting federal licensing for this last job. But now they're saying that, if you go through that programming and you get laid off, you get fired, you quit your job, you're going to have to pay back all those training costs, right? This traps people. I mean, it puts people in the position where they can't leave their jobs, or else they have to face steep consequences, more than just being unemployed in a job market where it takes 3 to 6 months to get a job, if you can. Now you lose your job and you have to pay back all those costs. And who says what those costs are, right? It's the company that decides. And this is kind of the end game for corporations, is to have people not just financially dependent on the company for their wage, but the moment you sign up for your job, that company puts debt on you that they can hold over your head. It's a really dark position for the American worker to be in, honestly. But that's where we're at now in 2026, walking into it. And it really does have a dark cloud kind of hang over your New Year's resolutions. Because at this point, I mean, what can you do? What can you do? We want to come out here and talk about positivity. I would love to come out and say how great America's doing, but it would just be a lie. That's all it would be. America's not doing well. If you live here, you know that. Yeah, you're like, well, the stock market's up. The vast majority of people don't own stocks. And 90% of the stock market's owned by a very tiny fraction of the American population. So it has no reflection on the health of the economy, just on the health of wealthy people. And wealthy people are doing great, as they always will, because the system is designed to continue to enrich them. But it does feel like at this point, things are just kind of coming to a head. And 2026 is going to be a year of pretty heavy and dark consequence, I think. Because like we said in the last video, people are at that death line, right? They take one more hit and it's done. And Big Daddy government, right, with the year starting, he's already winding back and ready to kind of deliver a blow to the American people. And it's a blow that will be the death sentence to a lot of households out there, because you push them to the financial edge where they just have enough to get by. And then right when the calendar flips from 2025 to 2026, hey, guess what? Your household now has hundreds of dollars more that it has to pay. In some cases, if your health insurance and your childcare costs are going to increase significantly, and if you're a single earner in the household, I mean, what can you do? That's the real question. Like, there's no solutions being put out there because there isn't any that can effectively put there. Listen, politicians don't care about the people because they're not of the people. This whole kind of journey that I've made in the past year, 100,000 subs, by the way. Thank you guys, everybody. And this whole journey really understanding more and more and more what America is about and kind of the current plight of the American working class really shows that there's no representation for the American people. You have a few people out there, you have Ro Khanna doing God's work with the Epstein files. You have Bernie Sanders, who continues to champion for the working class, the everyman. But he's super, super old. I mean, God bless him. The guy is putting every day that he has on this planet to use for the people. What a saint. What a true American saint. Then you have people like AOC, they're up and comers. And you have more that are coming up. And I think that that's going to be the reaction 2026 when you see the complete collapse of MAGA as their supporters are getting crushed by the policies that Trump and his ilk are putting out there, and the death of the corporate Democrats, as the American people realize that they're not actual opposition, that they just support the same donors that the Conservative Party does. And we're already in kind of a phase of a social depression, but at some point it's going to spill over into something else, something more terrible. And I feel like with this administration, they're kind of waiting for that. They're waiting for the people to get desperate enough that they actually have to rise up, that they actually have to do something, that they actually have to take action, that there's going to be solidarity, because class consciousness is going to become a thing as people from every political persuasion begin to suffer more. But at the same time, Americans are really starting to understand, because like I said, 2025 was the year of America kind of waking up to shit. America is realizing that there is class consciousness, but it's only one class, right? It's the wealthy class. That's why nothing gets done. That's why there's no enforcement of laws, for rich people. That's why there's no justice, because they all have each other's backs. They have class solidarity. They have social solidarity. And I think that in 2026, we're going to see that grow with the working class and American people, and kind of a breakdown of tribalism. The other way that goes is, people have absolutely blamed each other at this point, and the wealthy and the politicians absolutely get away with it, and the American people just kind of have a civil war and go at it with each other and reduce the population in a way that Bill Gates is happy about. So who knows what direction that's going to go. It's 2026, baby. It's a year of uncertainty. I'm fascinated to see where it goes. I want to get the fuck out of here, though. I want to watch it from far away. Or maybe not. Maybe I'm stuck here and I have to kind of join the fight with everyone else. That sounds lovely. Because that's one of the reasons we're eating healthy and getting more exercise, is just in case I have to fight for my life somehow. Listen, it's bad enough that I'm down here in Florida, which is essentially MAGA land, and I'm becoming a more recognizable figure. I've had people come up to me on the streets, going into Publix. Dave the chiropractor, you're a good guy. Thanks for saying what's up. My mom says hi. She thought you're cute. But yeah, things are getting a lot more tense. I guess 2026 is really kind of a make or break year for the great American experiment. Ladies and gentlemen, tell me what you think. Do you have hopes? Is it a hope for you? Are you still buying into all of it? Do you have any faith that we're going to have any change coming from the kind of conventional voting process? Or do you think that eventually the American people are just going to need to take it into their own hands? Probably break down from the United States into 50 different principalities ran by one governing body of the people, some shit like that. I don't know. Tell me what you think, how it works out, what you think kind of the best solution could be, because we need ideas from normal American people if this place is going to save itself. But as we are right now, stepping into 2026, it ain't looking good. Everyone, if you're still here at this point, like and subscribe, hype the channel, get it out there in the algorithm. Think about becoming a member. Donations to the channel, always great, always groovy. We love it. I know you're hungover, so go have some coffee, have an aspirin, have some Tylenol, and kind of weather the storm and get back to work tomorrow, because that paycheck's not going as far as it did yesterday. All right, you guys take care.